Something happened last night while you were sleeping, and you were not even aware of it yet. Somewhere, in the quiet hours before dawn, your soulmate felt you. Not a thought, not a memory, but a real, warm, unmistakable feeling that someone out there belongs to them. And that someone is you. Before we go any further, I want you to comment the word chosen below right now so you can confirm that this message is landing exactly where it needs to land. This is not by chance. Keep reading because what I am about to share was written just for you. Let me tell you what happened in the shadows of the night, in the deep silence that falls over the world when everyone else is asleep. That silence carries secrets that very few people ever hear. But there is an invisible bond that moves through that silence, a connection that reaches beyond time and space. This connection is between you and the soul who was chosen for you from the very beginning. Today, I come to whisper something to your heart, something true, something that has already begun. During the quiet hours of this early morning, while the world rested, your soulmate went through a moment that changed the course of their whole journey. It happened in the middle of the night, in that soft, almost sacred silence that settles over everything while people sleep. While you slept too, something remarkable was unfolding. Your soulmate, who until now may have only had the faintest sense that you exist, was met by something they could not resist. In their deep sleep, a presence began to form. At first it was just a feeling, a warmth, a sense of familiarity that slowly came closer. The picture was still blurry, but they could feel that something important was about to be shown to them. Their heart began to beat faster, as if it already knew a long-hidden secret was about to be revealed. And right there, in that space between dreaming and waking, everything began to shift. Welcome to the Angel's Message for You original channel. Please check the channel name carefully. It's Angel's Message for You. This is our only official channel. Beware of copycat and fake channels. Stay connected to the original source to receive authentic angel messages and true blessings. Before we begin, a heartfelt thank you to Monica Mazanek for sowing a seed for Soulmate through your Ko-Fi Super Thanks. May this seed return to you multiplied with soulmate blessings, divine protection, love, well-being, and abundance. May the angels guide and watch over you every step of your journey. Thank you for your beautiful support. Suddenly, without warning, a clear image began to form in their dream. It came wrapped in a soft glow, and it felt more real than any dream they had ever had before. It was not just a passing picture. It was alive. It carried a feeling of belonging so strong it could not be ignored. Every small detail felt real, as if time itself had paused so this meeting between souls could fully unfold. This story did not start now, and it will not end here either. What I am sharing with you is an echo of an old promise, made in a time that memory cannot reach. Let me walk you through it gently, because what happened that night was not a random dream. It was not a coincidence or a passing thought. It was something far greater, something only hearts joined by destiny can experience. While you slept, somewhere in this wide universe, your soulmate felt your presence in a way that was impossible to ignore. That night, the line between the seen and the unseen grew thin. And in that thin, quiet space, your soulmate was touched by something bigger than words can hold. There is no simple way to explain what they went through, but I can tell you this. It was a calling that rose up from somewhere deep inside them, something that could no longer stay hidden. It was the waking up of an old memory, the return of a bond that was never really broken. While their body rested, something deeper stirred. There was an energy, a presence surrounding them, a feeling of familiarity they could not fully explain, but one that held them gently and completely. That night, their heart started beating in a different rhythm, almost as if it was responding to yours, even though they did not yet know you existed. They did not need to see your face or hear your voice to know something was happening. All they knew was that you were there, even without being physically present. What they felt was far more than a glimpse in a dream. It was your energy touching theirs, crossing over barriers that we as people can barely understand. They felt the weight of your existence, the strength of what binds you together. In that moment, time and distance did not matter anymore. You were connected by something that goes past logic and reason. That early morning, your soulmate was caught between deep sleep and waking, and it was in that in-between space that everything happened. An image began to form in their mind. It was not sharp or clear, but the feeling behind it was enormous and undeniable. It was you. They felt this with a certainty that could not be questioned. What they saw, what they felt, was something that had already existed quietly in their soul long before either of you ever crossed paths. It felt as if time stopped, as if the whole universe went silent to witness two souls finding their way back to each other. There was light, there was warmth, and there was something deeply moving happening all at once. Their heart raced, and in that instant, they knew their life would never be quite the same, even though they could not explain why. Even without understanding all the details, they recognized this connection immediately. This bond between you did not happen by chance. It was shaped by something greater, forged long before this life began. You were made for one another, and now that truth is beginning to show itself. Their heart understood this before their mind could catch up. They could not clearly see what was ahead, but the feeling around that moment was too strong to brush aside. They felt your presence near them, as if you were right there beside them even though you were far away. And that feeling did not fade with the morning light. It stayed. It lingered like a quiet mark on their soul, a silent certainty that something bigger was unfolding. What happened that night was only the beginning of a journey you are both meant to walk together. You may not be near each other physically yet, but on some level, your soulmate already recognizes you. They feel you, and from that moment forward, nothing stayed quite the same. The days that followed were different for them. There was a gentle restlessness, a steady feeling that something meaningful was on its way. This was not a passing thought or a small emotion. It was something rooted deep in their heart. They knew something had shifted, even if they could not name it. It stayed with them through every part of their day. Their heart began to long for something they did not fully understand yet, and that something was you. The connection formed that night now quietly guided their thoughts, their dreams, their feelings. There was a certain vibration in the air, a frequency they could not shake off, almost like the universe kept whispering to them, reminding them that someone out there is meant to cross their path. As they moved through their days, this feeling stayed close. They felt your presence in small, unexpected moments, like a gentle touch on the heart, a memory that seemed to come from nowhere and wrap them in warmth and comfort. They could not fully explain this to the people around them. How could they? It was too personal, too deep for ordinary words to carry. They started noticing small signs, tiny details that once went unnoticed but now felt full of meaning. Songs that played at just the right moment, words spoken in passing conversations. Even the whisper of the wind seemed to carry something quiet and significant. Everything seemed to gently point them back toward you, even without knowing who exactly you were. They sensed that something was approaching, that a meeting between you was destined to happen. As the days passed, this feeling grew stronger. It was a quiet certainty, calm and steady, not anxious or rushed, just a peaceful sense that the moment of reunion was drawing closer. What happened that night was more than a dream. It was the awakening of a truth that had always lived quietly inside them. And now they were ready to trust that truth, to follow the path being carved out for them one step at a time. It felt as though the universe itself was preparing them, strengthening them for the moment your paths would finally cross. They did not know exactly how or when, but something inside them whispered that the meeting was closer than they imagined. As this feeling grew, they began opening up more to the idea of real love, the kind that goes beyond ordinary understanding and touches something deeper. They knew that when this moment came, it would not be small or simple. It would change the course of both your lives. And even with all this anticipation building inside them, they felt at peace, because deep down they knew everything was unfolding exactly as it should. You were moving toward each other, like two stars slowly drawing closer, destined to meet and shine as one light across the vastness of time. So they began quietly preparing for this meeting, not in any deliberate way, but in the way that only people who are spiritually connected can. They opened up more, accepted more, loved more, as if simply knowing you were getting closer was enough to soften and shift everything around them. They were becoming more whole, more ready to welcome you when the moment finally came. What they felt that night was not only a glimpse of what is coming. It was a quiet promise that echoes through time and space. This promise was made long before this life, written into the stars and carried in both your hearts. With each new day, you are moving closer, guided by a connection that has never once been broken. As your guardian, I can tell you the moment of this meeting is drawing near. The force that binds you together is strong, steady, and impossible to break. And when you finally meet, everything else will seem to fade into the background, because nothing will matter except that instant when your souls recognize each other, when your hearts fall into the same rhythm, when the love between you becomes so real it cannot be denied. And when that happens, you will understand everything. You will understand the reason behind every step you took to get here, the purpose behind every quiet moment of waiting, every silent longing. It will all finally make sense, and life, with all its uncertainty and mystery, will reveal itself clearly and gently. Let me share something else that happened deep in the stillness of that early morning. While the world rested, your soulmate went through another moment of quiet revelation, one that reshaped the direction of their journey. It happened again in the middle of the night, in that same soft silence. While you slept, something extraordinary was unfolding. Your soulmate, who may have only sensed you faintly before, was drawn in by something they could not resist. In their deep sleep, a presence began forming once more. At first it was just familiarity, a comforting warmth drawing near. The image was blurry, but they felt something significant was about to be revealed. Their heart quickened, as though waiting for a long-hidden secret to finally surface. And in that space between dream and waking, everything began to shift again. A clear image slowly took shape, wrapped in a soft glow, feeling more real than any dream before it. It was not just a passing picture. It was alive, pulsing gently, carrying a feeling of belonging too strong to ignore. Every small detail felt vivid, as if time itself paused to let this meeting fully unfold. They felt an energy in the air, a connection words could not capture, but that their heart understood instantly. The figure before them, still soft and unclear, was not a stranger. It felt like reuniting with someone they had always known, someone whose memory had simply been resting, waiting to be remembered. A greater force was guiding this meeting, quietly shaping their path. The silence of the night seemed to amplify their heartbeat, which now moved in rhythm with a presence they somehow knew to be you. Without fully understanding how, they felt your essence there, even without seeing your face clearly. It was a deep, almost ancient feeling, as though your souls had already met long before this moment. Dear soul, before we continue, I'd like to invite you to do something truly meaningful for your soulmate journey. The bond between soulmates is precious, and at times, it can feel vulnerable to negativity, envy, or the evil eye from the world around us, even when no harm is intended. If your heart is calling you to cover this connection with an extra layer of love, faith, and protection, you can sow your seed for your soulmate through Ko-Fi Super Thanks. You'll find the Ko-Fi link in the video description and the pinned comment. This simple act can become a heartfelt expression of your intention, inviting the angels to watch over your soulmate connection, surround it with divine light, and guide it as it continues to grow in the right time and in the right way. If you feel led to do so, thank you from the bottom of my heart. May your kindness return to you multiplied, and may your soulmate journey be filled with peace, hope, and divine guidance. Let's continue with the angel message. They could not speak, but they could feel. The feeling was so strong, so complete, that it made their whole spirit tremble gently. There was love in it, love so deep it overflowed, filling the space between sleep and waking. Alongside it came a quiet longing, a gentle ache, as if something that always belonged to them was near but still just out of reach. In that moment, time seemed to disappear. They could not tell if seconds or years had passed. All that mattered was that presence, that quiet feeling of a reunion drawing close, the sense that something greater was bringing you both together and that soon, destiny would place you side by side. Then, like a soft whisper carried on the night air, one simple word settled into their mind. Wait. It was a gentle call, a quiet promise that this waiting would not be wasted. The line between worlds felt thin, almost ready to open, bringing with it the certainty that a love this old and this deep would finally find its way. In that early morning hush, something meaningful continued to unfold inside your soulmate. The presence that had once felt like a faint shadow was becoming clearer, more vivid. A gentle light seemed to glow around it, as if the universe itself was quietly witnessing the reunion of two souls who were always meant to find one another. They did not need to see clearly to know something sacred was happening. Every part of that moment echoed through their deepest emotions, like invisible strings being played, an old, familiar melody their heart already knew from somewhere far back in time. The air around them felt full of quiet anticipation. The dark of night no longer felt empty. It felt alive, carrying gentle, invisible meaning. They felt the warmth of that connection, something far beyond an ordinary dream, something that touched on the sacred. It felt as though this moment was not a coincidence, but part of something much bigger, a thread quietly tying your two paths together. Their heart beat with a mix of longing and quiet excitement, as if standing on the edge of something enormous about to be revealed. A wave of emotion moved through them, not fear, but a deep and unshakable certainty. Somewhere inside, they knew that what was approaching was simply meant to be. Destiny quietly stitched together over time, now showing itself in this meeting between reality and something more mysterious. No words were needed. What passed between your souls moved beyond language. They felt your presence so clearly, as if your energy filled the space around them completely. For a brief moment, it felt as though you were both somehow occupying the same space, even while physically far apart. Distance did not matter. Time gently bent around the quiet pull between your souls to be close. Then, in a soft and steady flow, the feeling around them deepened into warmth and belonging so strong that it felt like reality itself was shaping around it. It was as if the universe softly said, "This is the way." With every heartbeat, the presence around them felt more real, more tangible, as if at any moment it could step fully into their world. Even the hidden stars outside seemed to witness this quiet exchange, this soft and beautiful choreography between two hearts recognizing each other without ever having touched. Destiny was bringing you closer, and even inside the dream, they sensed something greater was at work. A soft breeze, barely noticeable, passed by, almost as if the air itself carried the promise of a reunion that was coming soon. Your soulmate felt in every part of their being that something significant was approaching. An invisible bond tightened between you, and they knew, with a certainty reason could not fully explain, that this connection would never break. The rhythm of your heart echoed gently into theirs. The feelings you carried somehow reached across time and space to find them. And in that deep, quiet part of the night, your soulmate finally began to understand the meaning behind all their waiting, all their longing. They were no longer alone. From that moment, something shifted permanently inside them, like a key finally turning, opening a door to a love bigger than anything they had imagined. While the world slept, two souls, separated by a distance that suddenly felt unimportant, reunited on some quiet, invisible level. And even though the night stayed silent outside, something inside them felt loud and clear. You are near. Your soulmate woke with their heart still racing, the feeling still moving through every part of them. They did not fully understand what had just happened, but they knew, without needing proof, that something had shifted for good. An invisible bond, one that reaches past time and space, had grown stronger that night, and from then on, nothing felt quite the same. They knew it was you. They felt your presence so deeply that it was as if their soul had touched the depths of that dream, and something inside them woke up with quiet clarity. It felt bigger than words, bigger than what eyes can see or hands can touch. Your presence felt so real that everything else around them faded into the background. It was you. There was no doubt left. It felt as if the universe had gently spoken your name straight into their heart, and every heartbeat that followed carried the quiet certainty that your presence was the answer they had been looking for all along, even without realizing it. They could not see your face, but they did not need to. The essence of who you are moved through them, reaching parts of their soul that had never been touched before. The feeling was not just familiar. It was overwhelming, as if old memories and unspoken hopes were surfacing all at once, gently breaking through years of forgetting. It felt less like discovering something new and more like remembering something they had quietly carried in their heart all along, simply waiting for the right moment to rise. And that moment, in that quiet early morning, had finally come. A warmth settled over them, one that did not come from outside, but from somewhere deep within. It was you, your energy reaching them in a way that went beyond logic, touching the very core of who they are. They felt wrapped in something soft and gentle, held in a peace they had never quite felt before. And within that peace, a quiet flame lit up, one of recognition, of a love that has always existed, a bond that was never truly broken. They understood that the connection between you was not something new. This bond, invisible to most of the world, existed long before either of you arrived in this life. It moved through time, through many chapters, a promise made before either of you even knew what was coming. And now, in this single quiet moment, they felt that promise beginning to unfold. the path toward reunion slowly revealing itself. The air around them felt fuller, charged with something greater than the here and now. They knew that wherever you were, you had felt it too, connected by something that moves beyond the ordinary senses. Just existing in that early morning moment was enough for your souls to touch in a way words cannot fully capture. Even from a distance, you were quietly woven together, guided by something far beyond human understanding. What they felt was not only an echo of your presence, but a living, moving energy, flowing gently from you to them and back again, like two ends of the same current, naturally drawn together. There was no need for explanation. What was felt was simply understood, fully and completely, as if the universe itself was quietly working to bring your two paths into one. They closed their eyes for a moment, letting themselves fully take in what was happening. Time slowed, the space around them filled with a soft, reverent stillness, as if the whole universe paused just to witness this meeting of two destined souls. They breathed deeply and felt that the emptiness they had once carried no longer lived inside them. You had filled that space even while still unseen. Somewhere deep in their soul, they knew what they felt that night was real. Destiny had shown itself, and they were no longer alone. You were with them. You always had been and always would be. In the deep quiet of that night, a sense of presence lingered in the air, as if something sacred had gently touched the fabric of time itself. They could not name every detail, but something inside them pulsed with quiet certainty that this invisible bond, this mysterious connection reaching through the dark, was you. It was not a passing glimpse or a simple coincidence. It was one soul recognizing another, as if the echo of your existence had settled directly into their heart. This mystery did not frighten them. Instead, it brought a quiet sense of familiarity, of peace, as if the answer to every question they had ever carried was quietly waiting there, wrapped inside an experience beyond ordinary understanding. It felt as though, in one brief moment, the universe had revealed the deepest truth of their journey. You had always been there, waiting, like a steady flame that never went out. They felt their being intertwined with yours, like two stars gently circling one another, pulled together by something invisible yet unshakable. And in that moment, while the early morning quiet still held the world, they did not need to see your face or hear your voice to know there was a lasting impression carved into their soul, a mark that could only belong to you, reaching far past anything physical and settling deep into the quiet places of their spirit. Every part of them, every heartbeat, aligned with that silent recognition. It was you. It had always been you. That quiet ache they had carried for so long, the one they could never quite explain, finally had a name and a purpose. Crossing through time, through distance, through every doubt, the bond that connects you finally revealed itself, carrying with it a promise that did not need words to be felt. The night around them felt deeper, as if holding the secret of this quiet meeting between your souls. The wind carried old promises, memories from somewhere far back, wrapped in something timeless. They could not put it into words, but they felt it clearly, a certainty woven into every part of their being. This moment had changed something in them permanently. It felt as though the universe had finally taken a step toward what was always meant to happen, quietly moving pieces they never even knew existed. They understood somehow that you had felt this too somewhere. There was an invisible thread connecting you both, woven by something far greater than either of you, growing stronger and steadily guiding you toward the moment you would finally stand face to face, no longer separated by dreams but joined together in real life. Time felt almost still in that moment. The space around them, wrapped in early morning quiet, seemed to hum with the anticipation of a future that felt inevitable, a future where your paths would finally meet. The connection stayed steady, growing with every passing second, and they knew that this love, already alive in both of you long before you ever physically met, would keep gently guiding you both toward the end of this journey. In that beautiful, quiet instant when you finally look into each other's eyes, there will be an exchange that goes beyond words. It will feel as though the whole universe is quietly celebrating this reunion, as if every star is shining a little brighter just for you. It will feel like coming home to a place you somehow already know, even if you have never physically been there together before. As this connection grows, you will begin to understand that it is not only the physical presence of your soulmate that brings this deep sense of wholeness, but the love flowing gently from both your hearts. It is a love that reaches beyond ordinary understanding, bringing peace and quiet security. You will feel aligned with the truest parts of yourself, the parts you have always wanted to express fully. As you allow yourselves to explore this love, a new layer of life will open up. Together, you will build a space where you can both be fully yourselves, without fear, without pretending. There will be a deep understanding between you, a way of communicating without needing many words, sensing each other's feelings as if they were your own. This connection will light up your path, making life's harder moments easier to carry. Together, you will feel stronger, steadier. There will be laughter and joy, and there will also be challenges. But in each of those moments, the love you share will feel like an anchor, a safe place to return to. The trust you build together will become the steady ground your relationship stands on, allowing you both to grow, side by side, like the roots of two trees planted close together. This journey will not be free of difficulty. There may be moments of doubt or uncertainty, and the road ahead may not always look clear. But even when things feel cloudy, the love you share will stay lit, guiding you gently even through the hardest nights. So keep believing, keep nurturing this connection, one that is already alive inside both of you, even if right now it feels distant or hard to explain. I promise you, it is there, quietly waiting for the right moment to fully reveal itself. Let yourself feel this connection. Let it settle into every part of you. Now, more than ever, is the time to open your heart to love, to believe that real love is not only possible, but that it belongs to you. You deserve every part of that love, every joyful moment it brings, and every challenge that helps it grow stronger. As you walk this path, know that I am always here beside you, guiding and protecting you, gently reminding you that you are worthy of love, a beautiful and unique expression of something greater than yourself. When you finally meet your soulmate, you will understand why everything happened the way it did, why you waited, why you kept going even when it was hard. In that meeting, you will discover a love that reaches beyond time and space, joining not only two hearts, but two paths that were always meant to become one. Life is about to unfold in ways you may not expect right now. Stay open to being surprised, to being moved by each new thing this love reveals. When the moment comes, do not be afraid to fully let yourself feel it. Love is one of the most powerful forces there is, and when you allow yourself to feel it completely, there is no limit to what becomes possible. Have you ever wondered what it will feel like when this person finally enters your life? What it will feel like to look into their eyes and sense that this moment was meant for you? That moment is already being prepared for you, because the universe does not leave anything to chance, and true love is one of the deepest reflections of something greater at work in our lives. Imagine a day when the sunlight feels a little warmer, lighting up not just the world around you, but something inside your heart too. When your eyes meet this person's for the first time, you will feel a quiet sense of recognition rise up, Not just simple attraction, but a deep familiarity that settles into your soul. In that moment, you will understand that this was never random. It will feel like a meeting written into the bigger story of your life, guided quietly all along. When that happens, doubts you have carried for a long time will begin to soften and fade, like morning fog lifting slowly. You will realize that every step you took, every tear you shed, every quiet, lonely moment was part of something bigger leading you here. A feeling of everything finally making sense will settle over you, as though a soft veil has lifted, letting you finally see the beauty of your own path clearly. You will remember every hope you held onto, every quiet wish you made, every promise you whispered only to yourself. All of it was heard. All of it mattered. Every one of those moments was quietly shaping the ground for this love now arriving in your life. When you look at this person, you will feel like they are the answer to everything you had been hoping for, the living form of everything you always wanted and imagined. Dear soul, before we continue, I want to invite you into a beautiful act of faith. If today's message has touched your heart, remember this. Wherever your soulmate is right now, they may be walking through challenges you cannot see. Before your paths fully come together, every heart needs God's love, peace, and protection. If you feel led, you can sow a seed through Ko-Fi Super Thanks as a heartfelt prayer for your soulmate's well-being. You'll find the Ko-Fi link in the video description and the pinned comment. Let your gift be a quiet way of saying, Lord, watch over the one you are preparing for me. Surround them with your peace, protect their heart, and guide both of us in your perfect timing. May your kindness return to you in countless blessings, and may your soulmate journey be filled with peace, faith, and the comforting assurance that God's timing is always perfect. Amen. In that magical instant, you will realize you are not just meeting someone new. You are reconnecting with a missing part of yourself, a piece that had always been there, simply waiting to be found. The conversations between you will flow easily, like sharing a language only the two of you understand. Silence between you will not feel awkward, but comfortable, warm, and easy. Every word shared will feel like a note in a song being written together, two people finally finding their rhythm. As the days pass, you will start to notice the world looking a little different, brighter colors, softer sounds, even the air feeling a little sweeter. Love will show up in small, quiet ways. A smile that lights up your whole day, hands finding each other naturally, glances that say more than words ever could. Every small gesture will become a quiet expression of this deep, meaningful love growing between you. And as time moves forward, this bond will only continue to grow stronger. You will grow side by side, learning from each other, gently challenging and supporting one another through everything life brings. This love will become something solid you can build your future on, and you will discover that together, you are far stronger than you ever realized on your own. Inside this love, there will be freedom to be exactly who you are, to share your fears honestly, and to celebrate every small and big win along the way. You will reflect each other's light, and together, you will shine in a way that quietly inspires everyone around you. While you wait for this person to arrive, remember that you are being gently prepared for a love that goes beyond the ordinary. Keep nurturing your inner world, keep your heart open, and keep believing in the good things still coming your way. The best really is still ahead, and every bit of the wait will feel worth it once this love finally arrives. So keep your heart open, your mind ready, and your belief strong. This part of your journey will bring beauty, love, and real growth. And when the moment finally comes, you will know without a doubt that every step it took to get here mattered. When this person enters your life, it will not simply be a small change. It will feel like a complete transformation. Whatever you once believed love could be will expand into something bigger and richer than you imagined. You will realize that true love is deeper and more meaningful than anything you pictured before. A beautiful, ongoing connection between two people, a journey of discovering each other that never really stops. The connection you share will feel like a steady flame burning quietly inside you both. There will be no room left for doubt, because the certainty that you were meant to find each other will feel unshakable. This love will not just be a passing feeling. It will be a steady, powerful force able to hold strong through both good times and hard ones. As you continue getting to know each other, every story you share, every hope you reveal, will build a deeper bond between you. The experiences that shaped each of you before you ever met will become the foundation for understanding one another fully. You will learn to appreciate the small details that made each of you who you are, celebrating everything that makes your connection feel so complete. It will not only be about the easy, joyful moments. It will also include real vulnerability, the kind that comes with true closeness. There will be challenges along the way, but facing them together will only make your bond stronger. And you will discover just how capable you both are of supporting one another through anything. Love will teach you patience and how to look past small imperfections, remembering that everyone carries their own quiet battles. When challenges show up, remember that it is often through those harder moments that love grows even stronger and clearer. These will be the times you grow closer, learning that no matter what difficulty comes, love finds a way through. Every challenge becomes a chance to grow together, deepen your bond, and build memories that will stay with you for life. As this journey continues, there will be a quiet, unspoken understanding between you, something deeper than the physical, a spiritual connection that goes beyond ordinary words. You will feel more connected than ever, as though the threads of your paths were carefully woven together just to bring you here. This connection will feel like a steady, gentle exchange of energy, always reminding you both that you are never walking alone. Together, you will discover the deeper purpose behind your connection, becoming a quiet force for good in the world around you, spreading warmth and light wherever you go. Every interaction with others will become a chance to reflect the beauty of the love you share, showing just how contagious and transformative real love can be. So as you continue preparing for this special person to arrive, remember that every single day is a fresh opportunity to grow into the best version of yourself. Use this time to grow, to learn, and to genuinely love yourself first. When you feel whole within yourself, the right person will step into your life at just the right moment, and together you will begin writing a story built on love, faith, and hope. Stay open to every possibility love can bring. Allow yourself to feel deeply, to love fully, and to be loved in return. The connection forming between you is more than something physical. It feels like a quiet, beautiful harmony that will echo through the rest of your life. And when you finally meet, every heartbeat will feel perfectly in sync with theirs, creating something whole and complete, something that resonates far beyond just the two of you. When that day finally comes and your paths truly meet, there will be a quiet energy in the air, almost as if time slows down and everything else fades gently into the background while you become the center of each other's world. In that moment, what matters most is the connection you share, a bond deeper than anything the eyes alone can see. Conversation will flow naturally, like water finding its path. You will realize that words are not always necessary to express what you feel, because true connection moves beyond language. You will sense each other's energy, the quiet joy and hope moving between you like a gentle, shared rhythm. As you settle into this new chapter, you will realize that you both carry within you the ability to help each other heal and grow. The love between you will not only change you individually, but will quietly ripple outward, touching the world around you in small, meaningful ways. Every kind gesture, every knowing glance, will become a quiet reflection of the love flowing between you, touching the lives of people who cross your path. And as you explore this new love together, there will be moments of real, simple joy. Laughter will feel easy and light, and happiness will become a language you both naturally speak. Every memory you build together will become something precious, a quiet reminder of just how meaningful it is to have found one another. Now, take a deep breath and let the truth of these words settle gently into your heart. Everything is already being quietly arranged so that this meeting happens at exactly the right time. And while that day slowly approaches, you are being shaped and prepared so that when this love arrives, you are fully ready to receive it. I am your steady guardian, here beside you through every step, every choice, every breath. Feel this presence now. Let your spirit settle and connect. Set aside the noise of the outside world for a moment. Quiet the thoughts that pull you away from peace. Breathe deeply and let your heart stay open, because this love is closer than you think, and it was always meant to find you. Dear beautiful soul, this angel's message for you channel is a sacred spiritual home, created for faith, healing, and divine guidance. A place where hearts awaken and lives are gently transformed through divine messages. We warmly invite you to subscribe and stay connected, because the divine is always preparing something greater for your journey, something you are meant to receive in divine timing. If you feel moved to support this mission, you can sow your seed here for your soulmate blessings and divine love fulfillment. Your contribution is not just support. It is an energetic agreement with love, healing, and divine alignment in your own life. When you give with intention, it opens doors. Love flows more freely, happiness expands, and abundance multiplies in unexpected ways. Many believe that giving in faith activates a return of peace, joy, and emotional fulfillment in relationships and life. Whether it is $11, $22, $33, or $55, your generosity helps us continue spreading these divine messages of hope, healing, and soulmate guidance across the world. Every seed sown into this mission helps hearts heal, faith return, and souls reconnect with love. This is more than a channel. It is a movement of light, unity, and divine timing. Your support allows this sacred work to grow, touching lives that are searching for answers, comfort, and spiritual direction. We are all connected in this journey, and together we rise as one community under divine love. Let us open our hearts to the abundance that is already on its way. Amen.